Good morning. My name is Mecca. I'm joined by my co host, Lorenzo, and the illustrious, the salubrious, the incomparable Skinny. We're here this morning to talk cartoons, appreciation, and just a hint of criticism. But it is 7 minutes since the Associated Press called the election for Joe Biden. Uh, Congratulations if you liked him. I did not vote for him, but there it is. There's the news. We're going to get away from that with a little escapism, and we're going to talk Saturday morning cartoons. Me and Lorenzo have a small detective agency on the internet. We do some constructive criticism and investigation. And if you were wondering what happened to Saturday morning cartoons, this is the show for you. But let me once again introduce Lorenzo and Skinny, my illustrious co-host. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well.
I'm doing all right. The coffee ain't kicked in yet.
Yeah, mine. I just cooked mine, and it's already cold, and it was like 3 minutes.
I did get a new mug. Let me see if I can. Hold on 1 second. As I'm on mobile. Can you see that?
Oh, is that the Mandalorian?
Yeah, it's got the child on there.
So is he green? Is Baby Yoda green or sort of green? I believe.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be green, Lorenzo. It's your nephew.
Yeah, we've got some green representation on the show. Always appreciated.
That's funny. Let me. I'm going to send out a few links, guys. While we get started. Thank you very much for joining us. We got that Nigel movie guy in the chat. That Nigel, I'm going to send you a link if you'd like to come in. But I do ask that you bring a cartoon to talk about because we love cartoons on Saturday morning.
Yeah, and everybody needs to honor Nigel. He teabagged Dracula in our honor and to protect us.
That is
because
Dracula
of that,
stuck on a pair of American balls.
Because of that, Dracula didn't steal any hubcaps this year on Halloween. I don't know if he will do that on other days, but
well, your hubcaps are safe now because Nigel saved the day and defeated Dracula.
Yeah, even on Devil's Night.
But now he's got to defeat Ninja Gary.
Ninja Gary?
Yeah.
Is that what he's calling it now?
Yeah, it's Ninja Gary. If y'all hear like incoherent screaming, nobody's getting killed over here. Grandpa's yelling at the TV.
Yep.
Because of the election.
I don't blame him. And joining us, a very cartoon character himself, fighting a battle against Ninja Gary now, Mr. That Nigel movie guy, or Ninja Nigel. How are you this morning, sir?
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!
Right.
Hey, Ninja Nigel.
Hello.
Ninja, vanish.
I think you got like a bunch of links from. You got one from me and one from Mecca. So
I feel the hyperlink love.
Well, Ninja Nigel, my favorite Saturday morning cartoon. The reason I woke up on Saturdays was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wise choice, Mecca. I came here to discuss Ninja Turtle cartoons as well.
I didn't have a choice. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was a kid was the only choice. The only choice that mattered.
Well, you didn't choose the Turtles. The Turtles chose you.
We're just living in their world, honestly. It was not only that, but it was a really good cartoon, honestly. The comics were good. The characters were good. Master Splinter, Shredder. Like, can you get more better than that? More better?
Invading rock soldiers from Dimension X.
Right. Krang. Shredder.
That's a very good Krang voice. Do that again.
Shredder. But hey, let's let me pull up some stuff. I wanted to talk about all that, and let me bring this up because I'm a little perplexed and befuddled. Have you guys seen this ad for Steven Universe?
This is the first I've seen this. No, I've not seen it.
So this was I guess there's a thing going around in SJW circles right now. They're going for this anti-racism thing. which is not only do you have to be not racist, but you have to be actively persecuting people who are.
And the secret police of the SJWs.
Well,
I'm thinking they'll be really successful by making them feel persecuted. I'm sure that'll really stop all forms of racism.
That'll change hearts and minds, most likely.
Yeah, both here and in the land of lost.
Well, so Steven Universe, I think, is important to talk about because as far as Saturday morning cartoons, I think Steven Universe, I don't know what time slot it has. I don't think it's Saturday, but it's definitely a kid's cartoon and would fit in, you know. It's about this kid named Steven Universe, and he has a bunch of moms, and they do heroic things. And I never really got into it. I maybe watched one clip of it, but from what I understand, it's pretty woke. And I would be fine with that if it was a good cartoon, but from what I've seen, I'm just not into it. You know, the one clip I did see is this character right here with the star on her face, and it was like I think the song was like "I'm Better Than You," and as soon as I saw that, I just was not interested in seeing it any further. That just seems really stupid.
I wonder if that changed over the years, because I saw some of the early episodes and it seemed like it had kind of a unique drawing style, and then before all these other shows started with the CalArt style,
Yeah,
kind of unique. But that was several years ago, and I didn't watch a bunch of episodes. I just watched some clips here and there, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Maybe not for me, but it looks like something original. And now the artwork just looks really. Even the artwork looks really, really dull now from what you're showing me, which is not much. It's just a screenshot, but it looks bad.
Yeah. And I think one of the most important hallmarks of any Saturday morning cartoons was having a really awesome intro song. I can still recite the TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Who is your favorite turtle?
Leonardo.
But Leonardo leads and Donatello does machines.
Raphael is cool but rude.
Which one is Michelangelo?
Michelangelo is the party dude.
I like how he spins on his shell during that part. That's pretty boogaloo.
Pretty boogaloo.
Indeed. Sorry I left there for a second. I accidentally Googled the word Rush Limbaugh and my whole internet went out. They're trying to censor me.
It's illegal. But yeah, so CalArts is a thing we should probably talk about too, because one CalArts project I really like, won me over despite all my aspersions, is Adventure Time. I think that was a good one.
Yeah, my sister's way into Adventure Time. I never really watched it, but I've heard it's good.
You like it?
Looks like this PSA, if that's the artwork in there, it looks quite different than what I've seen from the show, which is quite little, as I said.
Well, okay, so the Garnett character here is from Steven Universe, and I think the three children character are on another cartoon. I don't know the name of that cartoon actually. Well, let me read the article. Garnett has a message for kids. Don't be racist. Cartoon Network has launched a series of online anti-racism PSAs featuring characters from its hit series, Steven Universe. The first short, titled Don't Deny It, Defy It, debuted Tuesday on the new website, crystalgemsspeakup.com, which also offers links to additional resources and social justice organizations. This is so much more than a cartoon at this point. You can't just wake up, get your kids ready to maintain their sleep schedule, which was the original point of cartoons on Saturday mornings. But could you imagine TMNTspeaksup.com? Could you imagine ruining the fiction of these mutated turtles that are also ninjas and having them lecture at you about how you're uninformed and rather flippant views on racism due to being single digits in age was wrong? That they're supposed to feel guilty about it?
Yeah, it's like that book for babies and toddlers about like racism.
Yeah.
You know, and I can understand, like, I like how they did things back in the 90s where they'd have like a children's show and there'd be a diverse cast, but they didn't make a big deal about, you know, the differences. It was more about, you know, they had different personalities, and that was, and they would be maybe different colors, and there might be some, you know, girls and some boys, you know, and it was diverse, but it didn't hit people over the head.
You know what? I have to play devil's advocate here, you guys. I mean, think about Venus, the female turtle. When she finally came onto the stage, there was turtle equality, finally.
You're talking about Venus de Milo from the TMNT live action weekly show, right?
Oh, God, that doesn't exist, man.
I think the creators of the Turtles, Eastman and Laird, kind of disavowed that. Oh, real quick, welcome to the show, my pickles.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't like people racist against Scotland in here. I gotta go.
Hey, my pickles, I was going to send you a link, but then I ended up seeing that there was typed something in wrong, and there's actually a my pickle, which looks like some sort of British transportation. Like
Never Google my pickle. You won't like what you see.
Do it.
Yeah.
Welcome,
apparently so.
We're reminiscing and investigating on what happened to Saturday morning cartoons. We were just talking about this anti-racism call to action from Steven Universe, and we're kind of contrasting it with just everything we loved about the all-time greatest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday morning cartoon. Just doing a little compare and contrast, I suppose. Hey, Shabby! Does somebody have a...
This cartoon's past my time because you're all old.
What is?
The the Ninja Turtles cartoon.
You didn't like Turtles?
No, the oldest cartoon I've seen of the Ninja Turtles was probably like the mid-2000s one.
Oh, okay. That was a good cartoon series too. It's a little more serious, I think.
Yeah, the 2003 series is excellent. It adapted the comics a little better than the previous series did.
Was it more informed by it?
Yeah, because I think it was Peter Laird, or maybe it was Eastman. I think it's Peter Laird that served as a producer on it.
Yeah, you mentioned that last night on your video game stream.
Yeah, I did.
You were streaming the Ninja Turtles.
Correct. I was playing Ninja Turtles 2 with a friend of mine.
Oh, how did that go?
That was awesome, and I also maybe there was. Well, I might have heard about that cartoon series before, but I just remember the one from the 80s, and I remember watching the second movie, the absolute second movie that they made, not the second in any of the subsequent series.
Oh, yo, welcome, Shabby. Shabby, I sent you the link. Feel free to come in, brother.
He's got work to do.
I sent the link as well.
As long as you and your writer can get along, I want a good, clean fight.
Shabby's got work to do.
Oh, don't let him in. Got it. I'll kick him out as soon as he gets here. If he comes in errantly. But yeah, TMNT was it was really good nonsense. It was anthropomorphic turtles, and they did ninja stuff, and it was the biggest thing in the 90s, honestly. They had a movie adaptation. I think Doug Garrett once said that it was the greatest comic book movie of all time. I find it very hard to argue with Doug on that one.
I find it quite easy to argue with Doug on that one. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's still one of my favorite movies, but I wouldn't call it the best comic book movie ever. I mean, how can you say that when you still got the Michael Keaton Batman?
That was a good one. I'm also assuming he means live action.
Well, yeah, but Batman was live action too.
No, I mean like I
thought
mean
the-
there's
I
better
thought Michael
cartoon
Caine did an excellent
movies.
job.
Oh, you're talking about the CG one that they've been doing,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, for the record, you know that those movies aren't perfect, the Michael Bay ones, but I kind of like the second one. I mean, I don't know, it had Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady in
Yeah,
there.
I was
So
gonna say the second one's is more watchable than the first one. I agree, Skinny.
I'm not sure who was
Chevy.
expecting Citizen Kane in a fucking Ninja Turtles movie, but come on, guys.
guys, I'm gonna get some coffee. I'll be right back. Shabby's here.
I was expecting Oscar-winning material for Turtles.
Yeah, I wanted to see Gone with the Splinter.
So
The Turtle Locker.
I'm gonna be honest. I know nothing about the Ninja Turtles comics.
You
So-
don't read comics. What?
No, I have never read a comic in my life.
It's like, just throw him out. Out with him.
I know that it's like kind of like based off Daredevil with the hand and whatnot, but
Well, yeah, the mutagen came from the same stuff that blinded
Yeah.
Matt Murdock.
is Donatello still dead? Or did they bring him back?
Donatello does machines.
I don't know, man.
Did
There's
Donatello
something
really die? I mean,
I know he died at the end of an issue.
So this just came out. Let me see if I could find a good picture of it. This is called the Last Ronin. Have you guys heard of this?
Yes.
Well, look at the names on that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that last night actually.
I can't see
Eastman.
the names. Who's?
Eastman and Laird.
Oh,
When did this come out?
I think it was solicited this month, but let me see what I can find on news.
That's awesome.
2 hours ago on CBR. I don't really like CBR, but let's see what they have to say. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin #1 just introduced fans to the deadliest Foot Clan ever in the cyberpunk version of New York City. So this has spoilers. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like this is brand new, man. And if you don't know what The Last Ronin is, one of the most popular themes for fan fiction, or excuse me, fan drawings, is this kind of idea of only one turtle survived and collected the weapons of his brothers. Let me see if I can find this.
Mm. So who is it? Or Leo or Raphael? Because I know Johnny and
It would be
Mikey don't
Raphael.
survive.
is Betty White one of the turtles? I think she's a sole survivor from Golden Girls.
So
She's
Kane and
actually Master Splinter.
Splinter. So Kane and White drew this a while ago. Obviously, it's got Cyberfrog in it, but this is a common thing you see with TMNT fan art is the idea that only one turtle survived. He's got this guy right here. I guess is Raphael. He's got the sai. He's got a sword, the nunchucks, bow staff.
Raphael is the best turtle. Everyone knows that.
Definitely
So-
the most powerful.
I'm guessing this that art piece is a bit of fan art, really.
This piece, yes,
Yeah.
but this is official. The Last Ronin.
Looks like Leo though.
So are those the guys who did the original Turtles book,
No,
Yeah,
I
you
think
did
it's
it
gonna. I think it's gonna be Mikey.
or did
Mikey?
they do a later one? I can't recall.
Oh, it is Michelangelo.
Yes, call it. Oh.
See, I would go for Leonardo or Raphael, but I could buy onto Michelangelo being the last turtle.
He's
So
the
I-
underdog, so I had to
Yeah.
say Michelangelo.
I mean, the art is great on this. It looks like he's fighting mousers and stuff. I'm gonna have to get this.
I mean, people
I was
clearly
hoping
don't like
White would
Donatello.
have a. No, people hate Donatello. I actually don't know that, but I do.
It's like left.
But see, in Turtles in Time, Donatello had the best reach. So,
Oh.
Is that the one where they go into the future?
this one is definitely in the future. Yeah. Oh yeah, to Turtles in Time, obviously. Yeah. Let's see here. The Last Ronin reveals the Turtles repeated Splinter's biggest failure. Screen Rant says The Last Ronin is a vintage bloody 80s spectacular. Very cool. You guys see this right here? Jabba the Hutt is a deadly hand-to-hand fighter in Star Wars comics.
He's like a sumo fighter, right?
Oh no.
Oh, that would make sense.
Okay. Anyway, Brave New World. The last run of #1 comes out the gate in a rip-roaring shinobi slashing style. As seemingly bereft of his ninja brother, and the last remaining turtle brother launches a furious assault on the now despotic Foot Clan in a polluted, neon-colored, futuristic New York City. Seems on the eve of an apocalypse. In weaving this dark future for the whimsical bunch, creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird deliver a blistering rhapsody of raucous rampage, a merciless mayhem that resurrects the best of the 80s tinge brutality of their early run and ramps up the intensity to 11 in no-holds-barred battle across a dark dystopian cityscape.
Have you guys noticed that there is always either apocalyptic future or neon future?
It's basically like cyberpunk in a neon future.
But it's always like Japanese, but like futuristic. I want to see like Italian Futurama, you know? Like floating pasta everywhere and shit like that.
I think.
Good morning, Arlene. Thanks for coming by.
I think with Ninja Turtles, it being a neon future is kind of like you said, Japanese, but also it's because the samurais really aren't they? These Japanese weapons and whatnot. So
it makes sense.
Asian weaponry.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, they are ninjas. I'm just looking at this picture right now. One of my favorite motifs in TMNT was the spots on the turtles. It looks like they got that here. That's pretty cool. I think that was a thing in the second movie, or was it the first?
I think the spots show him being older, right?
Yeah, liver spots.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
When your liver
it's like
starts.
Old man. Yeah. Do you have those?
Lorenzo, do you have spots? You're green.
These are muted.
Yeah.
Lorenzo?
Let's just say yes.
Oh, we don't all have spots.
No, do you though?
Well, do you see any?
No.
Maybe he's got spotted dick.
No.
Oh, those are tasty.
Ooh, don't say that, Pickles.
What did you say, my Pickles? Did you say they're tasty?
Yeah, spotted dick.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Wow.
You better watch
Not
out.
that there's anything wrong with that.
Pickles is going to eat your peener.
With some hot custard.
Oh no.
I just find it insulting that Pickles shares our moments like this publicly.
Oh, cool. So there's a synopsis finally. So in the last run, we picked 20 years in the future, last remaining Ninja Turtle on a suicidal quest to end the Foot Clan, now led by Oroku Hiroto, alleged grandson of the original Shredder. Follows is nothing short of virtuoso presentation of old school, grounded and gritty battle, which demonstrates exactly the kind of intensely satisfying action sequencing that made Eastman and Laird's original independent comic a household name. The narrative follows this turtle who remains unnamed until the final page of the issue, as he launches a guerrilla assault against Foot Clan headquarters, utilizing the weapons of his fallen brothers. That is just such a great idea. Look at the dynamics of this panel right here. He's midair. He's about to do something. Ninja stuff going on.
I love the lettering. Schlip.
Oh, see. Yeah. Yeah, this looks awesome, man.
So those were the guys who did the original for Mirage Studios?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the Wikipedia article here. Let's see here. So there's Eastman and Laird's. This is the very first issue, I believe. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kevin Eastman, Kevin Laird. Or I'm sorry, not Kevin. Kevin. Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird. That's right. So one of the things I always loved about the TMNT story was these guys were like selling this thing out of a van at one point, weren't they?
I could not tell you. I know nothing about that.
I'd have to look it up.
The other
I
guys.
believe it was a van down by the river, though.
Yeah, and they probably could also get some hallucinogenic. Probably, I don't know.
I'm such a noob when it comes to the turtles.
Yeah. Well, your favorite character is the Hulk, which, like
Aye.
Lorenzo, is also green focused. And we've had some really fun conversations about Swamp Thing, which is another green character, but also his fiction also features the Parliament of Trees and in DC Comics, the Green.
Yeah, it's good to see green representation besides just Godzilla, who I'm now in good terms with, but used to have some.
Are you
There's
guys
a little bit of feuding on Twitter a while back.
you and Godzilla?
Well, I don't know if it was Godzilla or someone representing Godzilla. I just know somebody was getting all upset about getting all political and then getting upset about. I won't even talk about it. It was, but I just and I was like, well, God, and he had a Godzilla avatar, and I'm like, well, Godzilla is a mass murderer.
Yeah,
But then I found out he did some good stuff as well, so
yeah.
I retract that.
So, yeah, TMNT was pretty much the highlight of any kid's Saturday morning. But what we got now, this thing.
Oh, you're gonna make me puke.
This is an actual cell of animation right here. What do you guys?
Do you have the video? Can you play us the video?
I could try. Hopefully, we don't get struck. So
Yeah, every time I play a video with sound, I get some sort of notification.
well, I'm not making money.
Whenever it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
And so one week was even like blocked in every country. Another week was blocked in the UK for some reason.
Well, check this out. Be anti-racist. Look at just right off the bat when I start playing this. Look at the frame rate on this thing. What the hell is that? Did you guys see that? That's animation.
Yeah, it looks awfully lazy to me, and that's
Well,
really
apparently-
what my big gripe is with modern animation. It's not that they use computers; it's like some janky thing that I might try to come up with. And
Well,
present
what I
as
would
animation.
say is that, like, why would you, if you're so like wanting to be like empowering and all this other stupid shenanigans, why are you cheapskating on the black people?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, obviously they went with this animation choice because it was cheap and quick to produce.
Yeah.
So there's literally no effort that went into this at all.
Well, it reminds me of how there's like some like show that's been like they've done like multiple versions of, like there's multiple sequels, then they do a reboot, and then they finally add like minorities and women to the cast. Why are they giving like women and minorities like hand-me-downs instead of when I was a kid? There were all sorts of cool stuff that featured like girls and women and and ethnic minorities. Not just this white guy. Was in the show, and they were going to go and replace it with some sort of race or gender swap.
Yeah, I mean, well, at one point in time in ancient history, back in the 90s, we did a lot of shit like that, and it wasn't even to do it. It was just there. This is just shenanigans, man. Like, I would be ashamed if I worked on this piece of shit.
Yeah. I mean, strong words from Skinny, but I completely agree. Just like, let me see if we can count the frames. All right, let me see. I'll go back. All right.
Well, you can slow down the video.
One. Let's see.
There you
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five frames. I can't imagine being a child and looking at this and saying, yeah, I want to watch this. It just looks awful.
It does.
I don't think even a little kid's going to enjoy that. You know, I don't think. I think the target audience is like, what is it like maybe like feminists in their late 30s or something. I don't know, or not late 30s, but like late 20s or mid 30s or something. Like whatever age millennials are now. Doesn't seem like it's aged at like Gen Z.
So, animation standpoint is this is kind of vector and it's computer assets. So since it's not drawn, everything is already built and you just kind of move it like a little skeleton. Problem with that is when you see them from the slide coming down and they fall, it's basically like lump them onto the ground. There's like a thing, it's called squish and stretch, and it makes it look like lively and is the animation live, and you would basically bend them and make them almost like rubbery ball when it hits the ground. It kind of squishes and stretches, and that really adds a lot to animation. Unfortunately, I guess you can't really do it.
Yeah, it's kind of a shortcut, isn't it?
Looks like they took a lot of shortcuts. Like they had a shortcut when it came to coming up with ideas. And then when they were implementing it with the animation, like the drawing and the animation, they took shortcuts.
Yeah, if they cut any more corners, they'd have a fucking circle. Let me just say that.
Yeah,
it's just racism thing.
Well,
I've just come back. I don't know what he's talking about.
See, compare that to this frame of animation. Look at that.
Yeah, they don't even need to hand draw it. They just need to do it competently with digital software. If it takes too long, they could at least make it look good.
See, when I was a kid, man, seeing the turtles eat pizza was like almost mystifying to me.
Yeah,
like,
no, but
I want pizza. Hey, we got some more people coming in.
Cartoon food is the best food.
HG, thanks for coming in, man. Best mod. If you have the chance to mod HG on your channel, please do so. The dude is a hard worker.
HG is actually a mod on Shabby's channel.
There you go, with good reason. Hey, everyone. Oh, that Nigel movie guy did a ninja vanish on us.
Nice.
Yeah, he's still here.
I think if the turtles sold pizza instead of toys, they would still be around.
Yeah. Well, they had a lot of. Is this a stuffed crust pizza?
Yes. It looks like it's got like I'm going to say no, actually, but it looks like it's got like a mayo, maybe a garlic sauce kind of stuffing, but that could just be the coloring of it. It could just be a normal pizza.
What is that gift?
Guys, let's talk pizza.
No, because Shabby shames me.
My wife demanding.
That's your wife, Skinny?
Yeah.
Look at her feeble hand movements.
I know she can't overpower me no matter how hard she tries.
Never take no.
Sexy pizza. All right. Sorry for showing this.
Now, if you want to see cool pizza stuff, you can look up pizza sluts on Google.
Nope. Anyway. Let's see here. So TMNT 87, this Saturday morning cartoon appreciation could be just all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I know everyone will get tired of that at some point, but I mean, let's go back to this piece of crap. Look at this.
Do we have to?
Look at this crap.
The thing is that there's just so much good stuff out there that doesn't get highlighted. It feels kind of like a shame to even give this thing free publicity, because I don't think kids are going to watch this on their own. Maybe some woke parents going to, or maybe they'll check it out because it has some characters they recognize. But you remember that anti-drug team up cartoon where all these cartoons got together? Cartoon characters were on one show during the 80s.
Yeah.
What do they call it? The All-Stars or something? And I'm trying to think what it was. And that just was a big disappointment from what I recall.
All that stuff's in the 90s, it was a lot of big push on the anti-drug stuff.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
you know, this right here, like they actually shame this character. They
There's
guilt
actually
him.
have you seen the Rambo cartoon? That's anti-drug episode.
No.
It's hilarious because everyone has a weapon, but since it's a kids cartoon, they can't use them. so Rambo's with the knife there, just like all the whimsical ways to actually take down the bad guy with using the weapons without using the weapons on them. It's perfect.
Wasn't He-Man kind of like that? Like he had a sword, but did he ever actually use it like a sword, or did he just?
Well, they also changed gunshots to like laser blasts.
Well,
Well,
there's
yeah.
an ET where they replaced the guns with walkie-talkies and some sort of Photoshop type program.
But yeah, this whole Steven Universe thing just makes me throw all my racism in the trash can.
Yeah, I not only that, I'm finding racists and I am bringing them to justice. I am punching them in the face. You know, it's always okay to punch people in the face when they have abhorrent political views.
Yeah, they most definitely won't double down.
All right, I just took off my Snuggie. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so weird, the idea that somebody's going to be swayed by that and not be even more, have even a stronger belief in whatever they're being punched about.
Well, yeah, you guys remember
Real
this PSA in front of the arcade games? Winners don't use drugs. Did you guys ever stop doing drugs because of that?
Well, I'm going to come out off the bat and say I've never done drugs.
I will say that those things made drugs look really appealing. Like I saw that one PSA where the bitch melted into the couch, and I'm like, I want that kind of weed.
There's that one where the guy's like smoking weed, and an alien comes from the sky and like steals his girl, and he's like, not again.
No, but that was a weird one. But no, there was also this one where it was like these two kids were hanging out. They went into like their dad's study or whatever, and the guy was like, "Man, I'm so high off of this marijuana." And he like just grabs a shotgun and then it cuts right when he like pulls the trigger or whatever. And I'm like, what just happened?
I think Project Dare did make me a little scared it did make me scared of drugs because seeing what a filter looks like when, say, like cigarettes, I mean, like from nicotine, and to see like the nicotine stain in the filter and see that's what happens to one's lungs. But then I had another class that was about drug awareness where the teacher mentioned peyote. And I'm like, well, what's that? And the students were like, peyote? No, it's pronounced peyote. It's like, and then it's like, wow, and it's some Native American drug, and all, it's like, wow, this sounds really interesting. So I think it can actually backfire. And I think there's been studies that most of the time, even Project Dare, which even though I think it maybe worked for me temporarily as a kid, the other class got me more interested in the stuff. I never did try peyote, but
hey, welcome to the show, the Shinobi one.
Hey,
welcome.
But I would say
I got really interested in it.
Yeah, I was expecting a Saturday morning cartoon discussion, and apparently I've entered the war on drugs.
Yeah,
well, there's a good reason for that because way back in the day, I don't know if you remember this Shinobi Raccoon, but these arcade games used to have this PSA on them.
Yes, I remember. They also showed up before G.I. Joe came.
G.I. Joe.
Before G.I. Joe came back on.
You remember the Fensler films? G.I. Joe?
I think we all know that Action Man is better than G.I. Joe.
Hey, real quick, let me shout out in the chat real quick. Alien Xenomorph, talk about Micah Curtis. Let me pull up a picture of him.
Who is that?
Why?
Yeah.
There you go.
Craig.
So
I thank God that Micah Curtis got the brain to enlighten all of CG. So
well, no comment on that, but I remember it was called. The thing I was thinking about was the cartoon All Stars to the Rescue from 1990.
Yes, that horrible preachy PSA.
Yeah.
Sponsored by George Bush the First.
And so these woke cartoons are probably going to go over, as far as like kids are concerned, about as well as that thing did, which, they're just going to be disappointed.
Yeah, because preachy messages worked out so well the first time.
Actually, the PSAs at the end of G.I. Joe, some of them were useful, like not sticking your head back when you get a bloody nose, because that apparently can cause problems. I remember.
Or the proper way to get out of a burning house.
Yeah, that stuff, was okay, but it only lasted a minute or so.
True. What's interesting is, and I get that's the point that we're making. What always struck me funny was the fact that when the danger was there, was some member of the Joes was always like within hearing distance of the situation.
I remember because like you had like these ridiculous anti-drug things in like the 90s, 80s with like Mr. T and whatnot. When I was a kid, there was this one where this kid's balloon is stuck in like on top of a building, and this guy thinks he's like Batman or Spider-Man, and like just climbs up and falls to his death, and it's like, don't do drugs.
Skinny was a victim of this kind of thing because he never considered it. We lost Skinny to drugs years ago.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say that.
Is this now? Are these a real one? The PSAs or the?
Yeah, this was one where. Yeah, this was a legit one from the Joe series. They were playing football, and I think this is the first time that blood was shown in a G.I. Joe episode.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure of it. Well, not. Yeah, this is the first time because.
Oh, that might have been the one I was talking about. Where, well, don't stick your head back.
This one's my favorite. Like, you guys are children.
Yeah,
you're riding.
Don't touch electric. Why would you ride your bike over a shorted wire?
And then this guy shows out of nowhere talking about full body massage.
They always do that.
I like the dub
It's like
more.
on Hee Haw where they pop out of the cornfields.
What did you just do to us?
Why is the wire moving?
Go.
What the hell?
Got it.
Is that your-
Body massage.
Is this like a parody or a
Whoa,
satire?
what's going on there?
He's making a burrito.
Okay, I get what you're trying to do, Spirit, but that's not a good look.
I mean,
Was that
Like,
was
at
that
all.
the actual voices from G.I. Joe?
Is he gonna
No,
stop?
I think this was abridged.
This was a
Okay.
really popular parody back in the day, the Fensler films.
Oh, that's why I was asking if it was
Yeah.
the parody or the.
Nah,
Would you eat someone if you thought they were a burrito?
Most likely on accident, yeah. I think. I
Oh,
would.
look, I'm skating while not wearing any skates.
Well, I think this one was about the dangers of ice.
Well, yeah, but I think Snow Job here should have told him not to try this thing without any ice skates as well,
His name
because he's not wearing ice skates. Yeah,
Why
some of
can't
them
you
had
just stand up?
some of the Joes had really weird names.
Okay, I better not play too much of that. But
Yeah.
I'm giving you a link. Where to go?
But yeah, there was also another one I liked where one of the water specialist Joes was trying to help a kid stay afloat after falling into the river from a cliff. I think the lesson should have been don't stand on the edges instead of being don't stay around places by yourself, which wouldn't have helped him in that situation, but to not stand near edges.
Yeah, which it's good advice, but was that really the beginning of like SJWism and anti-racism that we see in which it's good advice, but was
Could
that
be.
really the beginning of like
Whoops.
SJW?
Yeah.
I think the weirdest thing to me is this cartoon presumes that you are born racist, right?
Yeah.
Because
I'm pretty sure that's
that's
taught from a young
ridiculous.
age.
Right. So, or is this cartoon basically against a grown-up that would try to stray you into being racist?
I couldn't.
That's
I
kind of what I
couldn't.
don't get.
I couldn't help but lynch black people when I was 8.
Well, that's because you're a pickle
You're a pickle.
See,
Hey, Morty.
or nachos. One of the two.
Yes. I guess I'm just born with this paranoia of white people as to look at them and thinking that they're thinking that I'm going to take their purses or something.
Yeah.
I was hoping, in fact, the Samuel L. Jackson would play the black kid, and he would be like, "Say that again! I dare you!
Say that racism one more time. Say that racism."
Well, I think there's a thing where there's an evolutionary thing where if people aren't exposed to people of different ethnic backgrounds, there might sometimes people might be xenophobic until they get to until
they
learn better. But I don't know, but I'm not sure though if somebody's like a real little kid, if that's really going to be the case or not. I think it might be worse to point out the differences, in the way that people are doing now and obsessing over it. I think that's probably much worse than. I think if somebody goes maybe their whole life and they don't see a black person, and then they, and they're white or some other race and they haven't seen a black person, maybe they might be surprised the first time they see a black person. I don't know.
Well, I, for example, was like 17 when I saw IRL someone not my race, But that's just because we're fucking white ass country.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hammer of Doom, but I'm interested.
I would think the solution would be like what they did in the 90s, where they would just show different people of different races getting along, and it wasn't any big deal.
So basically, show them Captain Planet.
Well,
Or
shows that
Power
do that
Rangers?
better than it seemed like most like live action shows had some like a diverse cast. Well, I mean, live action killer shows.
I would say kids shows. I mean, a lot of the primetime shows I've watched had predominantly either black or white. I know 90210. I can't really remember that many black people in the cast in 90210, and
Yeah, I can't either.
Oh, that was like that was kind of a weird show. I remember just being disappointed whenever that come on because it wasn't a cartoon.
Yep. Melrose Place, not a black cast I can remember. Full House, same deal there.
Oh, Full House though, that was like an 8 o'clock show, not a Saturday morning.
Well, that's what I
Like
mean.
8 or 9.
Well, that's what I mean. Most of your Saturday morning cartoon shows were more diverse.
Yeah, they were more diverse than the shows like on at prime time.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if they were doing that because the parents, because like parents weren't going to like wake up early in the morning just to watch a children's cartoon. Maybe they could put more diversity in there.
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, the 90s didn't really have much of a push for diversity. They just put shows on and they cater to whomever.
It makes sense from a marketing standpoint. Why not just be inclusive as far as different races and maybe throw in like a girl character or something. Well, I guess if you throw in too many, typically boys wouldn't watch, but throw in like Smurfette or something.
They already had Char and Wily Kid. They had there's your diversity right there, and the Warrior Maidens whenever they featured.
What shows did you mention? I'm sorry.
Well, you mentioned Thundercats, well, you mentioned Snarfette, or maybe you meant Smurfette.
Smurfette, there we go. This is Narfet. That would be interesting.
Well, yeah, that's why I got that's why I got confused, and I was thinking, wait, then who were Chitara, the Warrior, Baitens, and Wily Kid? But you were talking about the Smurfs.
Yeah, the Smurfs were the 80s, so I guess we were talking about the 90s. I don't know if the Smurfs were still on in the 90s.
For
I remember they started changing the format.
Well, maybe the earlier 90s.
What did you guys think of Captain Planet? Because I think this was like about as proto SJW as you can get. Really,
It sucked.
I'm only aware of like one episode.
Yeah,
and I think that's when like someone like gets like AIDS or takes drugs and dies or something.
Well,
like that.
yeah, they had. Yeah, there is that one, and
they had somebody getting AIDS in Captain Planet.
Yes, they had somebody getting AIDS in Captain Planet, and one of the no joke. One of them. And one of them, and one of the villains got a hold of it and decided to spread all this panic and paranoia amongst the.
You're telling me Ted Turner in the 90s had a cartoon where somebody was weaponizing AIDS and the main character had a green mullet?
Well, they weren't weaponizing. Well, the villains weren't weaponizing AIDS. The kid already had it when the villain showed up.
Yeah,
What the villain was doing was getting the school was stirring up the fear that was already there by spreading all this paranoia.
Yeah, I think this is political minded cartoons. This is political minded content. It was the very beginning, I think. I can't think of anything earlier than this as far as like the modern sense of SJWs and stuff like that, but I could be wrong.
Like Captain Planet was if you bring in the fact that everybody is talking about climate change, it could be because
climate change is even more of a subject with Captain Planet, obviously, because Captain Planet.
Yeah, the whole
at least Captain Planet had the decency to have a good intro song. Captain Planet, he's the hero. That thing.
No.
But compared to like Steven Universe, which has like.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to see like different ways of like trashing the environment or whatever. I mean, I thought it was an okay thing because it was, as I said, I didn't like
because
90210 or any Beverly Hills 90210, but it was something that was an actual cartoon that was on like it might have been on like at 6 a.m. or something,
right.
And
I think I stopped.
Wasn't anything else on?
Yeah. I think I stopped watching 90210 right after Shannon Doherty left the show.
Oh, I didn't even realize I guess the thing kept going. I think they might have had one where they were in college, but I never really.
Yeah, I think they had a season or two where they graduated and from high school, and then they started to part ways.
I don't remember watching it much at the time. Maybe a little bit later on in reruns.
But then shows like In Living Color and Martin and Hanging with Mr. Cooper came on, and I paid more attention to those.
Look at that!
I loved In Living Color.
Look at that mullet.
It was a thing then.
He almost has the same handsome facial structure as Shabby, actually. Look at how rugged he is. Shabby, could you pose like that for us?
He's so shiny.
I could rock a banging mullet. I'll tell you.
Look at the cheekbones, man. Yeah. That is a man's man right there.
I still think Vestry is based on Shabby.
Yeah, it's like they took a huge glacier of ice and carved a superhero out of it.
Yeah.
That's a guy that asks a woman on a date and expects her to pay for the meal.
The men are supposed to pay for it.
No.
Hey, I'm all the powers of the earth magnified. You don't expect me to have money, do you?
Yeah.
They can hold the door open for me.
Yeah. TMNT, Captain Planet. Even SJW cartoons back in the day were a lot better than where we're at now. I would watch a whole season of Captain Planet before I finish watching this crap.
TMNT maybe not so much because they were more focused on beating up the Shredder than protecting the environment. although there were a couple of, although they may have said a line or two about, but why do humans keep littering the litter or something?
So me and Pickles are a basically different generation, and I was wondering what kind of cartoons you saw in the early 2000s, because I was mostly the Batman, which wasn't Batman the animated series. It was after that.
It was kind of based on. It was more based off of Jackie Chan adventures.
Right, Samurai Jack was a big one for sure for me.
Billy and Mandy, bro.
Powerpuff Girls.
Billy and Mandy was great.
Yeah.
Shaolin Showdown.
Dexter's Lab.
Dexter's Lab was so good, man.
SpongeBob.
Cartoons are just so much better, man. And I think you could look at all this crap right here, this Crystal Gems nonsense, and it's just not good cartoon.
But you can see that from the 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s, the cartoons definitely got more stylized and less like Jim Lee-ish, basically. Every cartoon was definitely out there.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, around that time, everybody saw how everybody started trying to do what Bruce Timm was doing.
I think it's because more cartoons actually got made, so they had to compete with each other, so that they had to be cheaper, and yeah.
Well, I guess around the 90s there were less toys being marketed on commercials, so they had to slash the budget a little bit as a result.
Are there any Steven Universe toys?
I know
I haven't seen any.
Let me look that up.
I think
toys.
The thing coming back to like racism and shit like that, though, like children don't need to be told, "Hey, be nice to black people." You know, cartoons don't need to do that. You know, parents should just teach children to have respect for everyone.
Yeah, the thing is that
but it doesn't hurt to have the cartoon reinforce that idea. Like He-Man would, like he wouldn't really. It wasn't really a be nice to black people thing as much as it is treat somebody else the way you would want to be treated.
Yeah, and if it's done in a subtle manner,
yeah, certainly it's fine. But like PSAs going like, "Oh, let's stop this racism."
I mean, the lesson doesn't have to be ham-fisted. You know, it can be subtle, and you're just like, "I like this He-Man fella. I guess I'll act like him." You know, I'll be nice. He seems nice to people.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of toys for Steven Universe.
Is there going to be an episode of SpongeBob where Squidward calls SpongeBob the N-word or something, and then they have some sort of lesson about it? I mean, it seems like that's where we're going.
I'd watch that.
I don't want to give them any ideas.
Well, I mean, Steven Hillenberg's died, so it won't surprise me if they went that route now.
Well, Steven Hillenberg was big on, he didn't want any spin-offs of SpongeBob, but I think they announced one recently.
Yeah, they're doing a Squidward and a Patrick one.
Really?
Oh no!
It seems like those characters.
We are so doomed.
Doesn't seem like those characters would really exist very well on their own, because SpongeBob just kind of is the thing that really glue that holds everything together with that show. I mean, the way that they interact with him, and I mean,
I saw the third SpongeBob movie the other day. The one that just came out. Yeah, it's just come out on Netflix, and it's god awful. Like, it's pretty much soulless. And it retcons like SpongeBob. Like, he meets Sandy at this Camp Coral.
Yeah.
When they were children, it's like, no, there's literally an episode where she just moves from Texas.
It makes no sense to do that.
Wait. SpongeBob actually has continuity.
And like, it's well known that Squidward is older than him. Basically, in the movie that they go back to Camp Coral and they're like the same age. So
That makes sense.
there's no jokes that land. Like they have a dream, and they start speaking smart, and Patrick just goes, "We're dreaming, we're speaking smart." And it's like, is that meant to be funny?
I don't know. I don't find SpongeBob funny. Period.
Old SpongeBob was good.
I like I like it when it was new, but I stopped watching after a while. It was a friend of mine had kids, and that would be like I think I was in my 20s, and I had some friends who maybe they're closer to boomers or they're like maybe later Gen X, and it was like they would I think they were boomers, but they would show me, they would have kids, and they would tell me about a cartoon, and I was in college and
My kid
smoking
likes
stuff,
that
and then so like it appealed to me. So
with
like, that's all I found out about Gargoyles and SpongeBob both.
So when in the movie where he meets Sandy as a child, this is like the main character's recounting what SpongeBob has done for him. And so Sandy's like, SpongeBob said I could be anything, no matter where I came from. And it's like okay, whatever. But like it also explains that Gary has been around since SpongeBob was a kid as well. And then I just can't help but think Gary should be dead.
that snail thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
guess the best thing about the movie is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna file this under. This is like trying to figure out the proper origin story of the Constructicons.
Constructicons.
You know, the 6 Decepticon, the combiner team of 6 robots that combined into Devastator, the worst combiner in the entire Transformers universe.
Also, Mr. Krabs kind of says in the movie that SpongeBob is the Krabby Patty secret formula, that the secret ingredient.
What's the secret ingredient?
SpongeBob.
How could he be the? Oh, I don't even want to know.
Because it's like SpongeBob makes it so special.
That seems dumb to me.
And I guess the villain of the movie is King Poseidon, which is also weird because what happened to King Neptune? You know.
Wasn't Squidward kind of a villain before? Like, I mean, because he was the boss.
Squidward is his neighbor and a co-worker. He's just the one that just. I guess it's like when an adult sees like a child playing up on a bus or something.
Small ocean.
Like for fuck's sake, you know, this is annoying.
Yeah, was Squidward like the manager or something?
No, Mr. Krabs is the manager.
Oh, Mr. Krabs. Was Mr. Krabs a villain?
No, Plankton is a villain.
Oh yeah, okay. It's been so long since I watched it. It just said SpongeBob annoyed Squidward, but that was understandable.
So is this like a Mr. Is this like a Fred Flintstone Mr. Slate relationship?
You speak in old man language. I don't know.
Where Fred works really hard to get in good faith with the boss in hopes of promoting him, but he never does.
That's kind of like the plot of SpongeBob, the first SpongeBob movie.
Was he trying to impress Mr. Krabs or Squidward or who?
The first SpongeBob movie is they're making a new Krusty Krab and SpongeBob thinks it's going to be him. You know, he's won all these Employee of the Months and whatnot, and it ends up going to Squidward. So he ends up having a breakdown and getting sad and whatnot.
So it is a Fred Flintstone,
So-
Mr. Slate scenario.
Yeah, SpongeBob's kind of like a suck up to Mr. Krabs.
But like Mr. Krabs, he's like he's just like some guy who didn't just kind of work hard and become the boss. He's not like
No, he's the owner. He owns the
but didn't he just kind of work hard? He had the first dollar frame that he ever earned, and
yeah.
he wasn't like, I guess he wasn't really the villain.
No, he's Mr. Krabs is
Forget about that. It's been so long.
Mr. Krabs has never been the villain. Plankton's the one in fact tries to steal the formula.
And Squidward's just annoyed because SpongeBob just constantly annoys. I mean, just constantly doing stuff that's.
Well, Squidward's older and he's been working a dead end.
Yeah,
job
he's
for
just kind of like a grumpy old man, whereas SpongeBob acts like a little kid. I don't know his actual age on there, but he acts.
That's the thing. In the third movie, Squidward says that SpongeBob is his friend and he loves him. And I'm thinking, the Squidward would never say that.
I don't think he'd ever. If they are friends, I don't think he'd ever admit it. Like if he does like SpongeBob.
I mean, Danny Trejo is in the movie as well.
Who?
Danny Trejo.
Really? So it sounds like they got a lot of good people, like a lot of talented people in there, but it sounds like the writing's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's just a bad movie. Very soulless. There's nothing funny in the movie.
Well, it just reminds me of any show that's on the air too long gets like that. Are there any good cartoons?
Movie franchises that get today's sequels
are for kids? Because I can only think of ones for adults. Like, I guess BoJack Horseman went off the air. I enjoyed that. I definitely don't want a little kid to watch that. Gosh.
Huh.
And same thing with Midnight Gospel. That's more adult oriented. You have. But are there any really good cartoons now for kids?
When the best I can think of is Rise of the Ninja Turtles, there's a problem.
It always goes back to the turtles, doesn't it?
Did that end up being okay?
I'm still upset with them for what they did to Master Splinter.
What'd they do?
What'd they do?
They turned him into like a senile old rat who identifies his sons by the color of bandanas, by their bandana colors that they wear instead of the names he gave them.
Oh boy!
It's like really, you can't remember the names of your own sons.
I would say my favorite cartoon growing up though was Codename Kids Next Door. I don't know if any of you.
No,
I've heard of that one.
Is that the one where is that the one where all the adults are all evil and?
Well, it's the teenagers that are evil. The adults aren't evil.
Oh.
Basically, it's a cartoon of kids that are like agents, and they live in their operations in a big tree house, and their enemies are either teenagers or I guess young adults at a stretch. It's a hard one to explain because each episode's just them fighting other villainous children and teenagers, with child-looking weapons and whatnot.
That sounds interesting. It sounds so much cooler than what Mecha showed.
I'm not doing it justice, but it was actually really good.
Now, this is not a cartoon, but have you guys watched Witches?
No.
Witches?
I know where he's going with this one.
There's like a scene where they have these obviously fake heads and they turn and they have bald ass heads, and it was very traumatizing for me as a kid. So I'm just wondering if you guys saw the movie.
No, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, the one from 1990, Witches. It was a movie. Remember the Witches? That was based off the Roald Dahl book.
That sounds like something.
I'm looking it up right now.
That sounds
Well,
like someone that
the-
should be familiar, but I know I haven't seen it.
They
When did
turn
it come
kids into
out?
mice.
Because I'm finding something from. Was it from the 90s?
Yeah, it's a movie from the 90s.
90s or 80s maybe.
Yeah, it's
There's
the
one called
90. It's,
Velvet
19,
too.
Like
it's
an
from
80s movie.
1990.
Oh man,
Yeah, the witches.
witches.
Huh. I don't think I ever saw that one.
That's a movie that shouldn't be for kids, in my opinion.
That's because you were traumatized by it.
Yeah, I guess kids need to toughen up, you know.
You weren't born in the good generation, Shabu, where we're all tough.
Man, you guys are so lucky because clearly because we're a bunch of pussies and you guys are tough.
Yeah, so tough that we got. Yeah, so tough that we got to. Our heroes fought with laser guns and everybody always parachuted to safety.
Yeah.
There already were casualties. There were robots.
Yeah,
So apparently this was a Jim Henson production, though I'm not sure if Jim himself is still alive, but I know Brian Henson was involved with that company for a long time.
No, I think Jim Henson's been dead for a long time.
Yeah. I think Dinosaurs might have been like when Brian Henson was in charge. That had a heavy-handed like environmentalist theme, but it like the dad was a tree pusher, and I think it was kind of like
Do you
anti-corporate.
mean Dinosaurs the movie or that show where it's a family of humanoid dinosaurs?
That was pretty cool.
Ah, yes.
And
Not the mama.
I didn't realize that when I was a kid, but apparently there's some. Apparently during the 1990s, they showed that there's actually some more dinosaur-looking flea stacks. That I'm not sure exactly their like evolutionary how they ended up evolving differently. But I thought that was interesting. But I enjoyed the dinosaurs when I saw that on TV as a kid, and even just watching clips as an adult, I still enjoy it. I think I was probably in 6th grade or something, 5th or 6th grade when that came out.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah. With that, let's all be going. I'm a bit sick, so I'm trying to get some sleep in. So I'm all
actually, you know what? I got to be going too. I got to get ready for work, but I know Lorenzo likes to go for a long time. So if you're here watching, Lorenzo, would you start up another stream?
If people are interested.
Okay.
Well,
I can't, unfortunately.
It's 6:30 in the afternoon here, so I've got to start making some.
Okay, well,
we all got to go.
Yeah, this is a fun show.
Pretty much.
Let's all go.
Yeah, this show is in constant development. We want to appreciate Saturday morning cartoons on Saturday morning, and we also want to see what went wrong and all this stuff. Thanks to everyone that was in earlier. Thank you for coming in, Shinobi Raccoon.
Yeah.
You got some really insightful stuff, man. I hope you join us again. Shabby, of course, Pickles. Thank you guys. Go back Vestry. Get ready to back Vestry number 2, and my esteemed co-host
Soon.
Lorenzo.
Come in.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. Sorry, Jab, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, we're going to do this more often. So if you guys like this stuff, you want to join us eventually. Lots of stuff to discuss here. Really great topic. And with that being said, Matt C just got here. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, we got to get ready for work. But thanks, everyone, for coming. Matt C, just fine. There were some really great discussions.
Oh, hey, Matt.
You can catch it on a repeat.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, again. And we'll talk again real soon.
Cheers.